This chapter is very important for all of us. मतलब I want to say कि every Indian should go through this chapter. The troubles which you see in present scenario in India, the division which you see in present scenario in India, the roots of all this present trouble is hidden in colonial rule. First heading is colonialist view and contribution. Colonialist view, this is the first heading, view and contribution. Now there are two parts. Pre-1857 and post-1857. If you understood these two things, I tell you, this chapter is so much important. Bhim Sena, Parashuram Sena, Karni Sena, the seed of all these lies here. Pre-1857, Britishers, foreigners, but became rulers. This happened with Turks, Mughals. Turks, foreigners, but rulers. So they have to understand Indian culture, Indian polity, Indian society. Similarly, who was the first Turkish ruler who started the translation of Indian scriptures? Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Similarly, Mughals, foreigners, but rulers. You know, one of the major cause for the success of Akbar's rule in India? He establishes a translation department. Ramayana was translated, Mahabharata was translated, and he had a coterie of very good scholars who were able to explain all these things to him. And that played a very important role in strengthening Ganga Yamuna Tehzeeb. They were also foreigners, but now rulers. So they have to understand culture, economy, society and polity of India. Otherwise they cannot rule this country. So the first book to be translated was Manusmriti. Manusmriti, called as Code of Gentoo Laws. Maulvi Pandits were associated with the judges to assist them in the judgment. Law of inheritance. Maulvis were associated with the judges. But judiciary was not the only thing. You have to make the laws for the people. You have to govern the state. So first important development was Asiatic Society of Bengal. Asiatic Society of Bengal, 1784, by William Jones. William Jones, company's civil servant. He translated Abhigyan Shakuntalam. He translated Bhagavad Gita. And then they started understanding Indian culture, Indian polity, Indian society. Then, but it was not the only matter of Bengal. You have to govern Deccan also. With the beginning of 19th century, they have a control on Maharashtra also. So that led to the birth of Bombay Asiatic Society. Bombay Asiatic Society, 1804. But when China, Indochina, India, all these areas came under control, Asiatic Society of Great Britain. Asiatic Society of Great Britain, 1823. And this led to the birth of Indological studies. Indological studies. कि all the common words in European languages have their origin in Sanskrit. Father, pater, pitra, mother, matra, mater. And then the chairs of Sanskrit, chairs. The chairs of Sanskrit, chairs of Sanskrit were established in England and in many European universities. This was the first phase. To understand, to govern. This is the thing which you have to remember. To understand, to understand, to govern. But there, the concept changes. Power changes from company to crown. Now, initially, whatever was happening, you are blaming on the company. I am not doing anything. I am not doing anything. Then who is doing? You said company is doing. You were saving yourself. Although from 1784 you had the main control in your hand. But now when you are the direct ruler, then you cannot turn down the blames. So now you have to understand. You have to understand to divide. This is the basic difference in the colonialist view and contribution. To understand, to govern. Second phase, to understand, to divide. The main man, F. Max Muller, German, settled in Britain till his death. He started working on this concept. 50 volumes. 50 volumes with the name Sacred Books of the East. Sacred Books of the East. With Sacred Books of the East. With certain generalizations. Pay attention. Certain generalizations. Certain generalizations. First generalization. Indians lack the sense of writing history. We lack the sense of writing history. Puranas, epics, dramas, novels, semi-biographies, inscriptions, copper plates. What do you think? The history writing phenomena which is started by Greeks, systematic dating, that we did not bother. This was the first generalization, that Indians lack the sense of writing history. Second generalization. First generalization, Indians lack the sense of writing history. Sense of writing history. Now what is the what will be the outcome of this? Whatever will be written from any parameter will be accepted by the society. This was a very big conspiracy. cannot consider Indian evidences as proper because they lack the sense of writing history. First, very big conspiracy. It's not a small thing. It's a very big thing. If you simply mug it up now, you will think, यार, इससे कौन सी बड़ी बात है? Indian evidences will be considered as vague, nullified, because Indians don't know how to write history. So whatever British is writing, that is correct. Connect it. Try to understand. Whatever British is writing, that is correct. Second generalization. Indians are accustomed to despotic rule. Indians are accustomed to despotic rule. Religion was always a check. Chandragupta leaves the throne once he was unable to handle the situation during famine and drought. What was the need for him to leave? Ashoka says to Prativedakas, wherever I am, 24:7, Ashoka says, king is indebted to the people. King is indebted. Justification of British mismanagement, of British autocracy. Third, natives are engrossed in spiritualism. Main concern of all the Indians is spiritualism. Nisar Bhatt, Charak, Shushrut, they were from British mothers or British parents. Bharat means enlightened souls. The biggest fallacy of this country is that Indians consider sannyasi in a negative term. Biggest drawback of Indians is they consider the term sannyasi in a very negative term. This is the reason that their life is a hell. The day this country will respect this word sannyasi, nothing will be required to become great in this country. बोलो तुम कुछ जानते ही नहीं हो तो हमें you don't know anything तो I have to give you the rules of judiciary, executive, police, etc., etc. Caste system. Caste system. The most vicious form of social discrimination. Most vicious form of social discrimination. Caste system was a outcome of Jajmani system in feudalism. Caste system was created by Brahmins. Manor system was created by Pope in Europe. And this helped them to divide Hindus among themselves. Indians have no experience of self-rule or nationalism. So we cannot give self-rule. We cannot think about nation. And all these became the parameter after 1857 to divide and rule Hindustan. And the man who took these points and created the Bible for colonial rule was Vincent Ernst Arthur Smith. The man who took all these, Vincent, the biggest enemy of India, Vincent Arthur Smith. He's the devil who took all those 5 points. He was a civil servant. He was a civil servant. He has a loyalty for his state. He took all those 5 core points and wrote the first historical book of India, the early history of India. Early history of India. In 1904. See, year 1904. 1905, Swadeshi movement. 1905, Swadeshi movement. Partition of Bengal. Strengthening of national movement. He takes all those 5 parameters oil and writes this book, The Early History of India. 50 years it acted as a textbook. 50 years. 50 years it acted as a textbook, still referred by scholars. 50 years it was the sole textbook. Diverting all caste system. Caste system is the creation of Brahmins. Caste system is the creation of Brahmins. Caste system is the outcome of Jajmani system of feudalism. This is the reality. This is the projection. This is the reality. This is the projection. Brahmins have exploited the Shudras forever. Brahmins have exploited the Shudras, the native people. Chandragupta was exploited. Chandragupta Maurya exploited by Chanakya. Ambedkar was exploited by his Brahmin teacher. Kabir, Ravidas were exploited by Ramanand. This was the reality. This was the projection. Chandragupta Maurya. What was the need to put Chandragupta Maurya on the throne? He would have taken some Brahmin guy, Kshatriya, Malaiketu, the son of Pravar Sen of Kashmir. This is the reality. This is the projection. See, I am telling you. I am telling to all the awakened peoples of this country. See. Brahmins, exploiters. This is the projection. Reality, Chandragupta Maurya, Ambedkar, Kabir Das, Ravidas, disciple of Ramanand. This is the reality. This is the projection. Shambhuk was not the torture done by Brahmins. Shambhuk was a victim of Brahmins. No, Shambhuk was the victim of feudalism. This was the reality. This was the projection. In Afghanistan, today, if you go and talk about human right, freedom of expression, they will skin you out. Feudalism. Go. All the feminists of India, all the social reformers, go to Afghanistan, fight for the women's cause there. They'll take out your skin. Feudalism. There is no money, no army, no police. Shambhuk was breaking feudal laws. This was the reality. This was the projection. First systematic history of ancient India. Systematic. First systematic history of ancient India. Systematic history of ancient India. Mainly related to political history. Political history. Pro-imperialist. Pro-imperialist. And I said it remained the textbook for 50 years, still referred by scholars. This book is a poison, which is today used by our political leaders to continue the divide and rule in India. Sole objective of this book was to degenerate India and Indians, and to give strength and stability to British rule. Sole objective, sole objective of this book. One third of history is dedicated to Alexander. False glorification, exaggeration, and false explanation. False. I told you now, see, Shambhuk was not the victim of Brahminism. Shambhuk was the victim of feudalism. And we are paying for it. We are suffering from it. Ramanand is a Brahmin. He is not going to contest selection in medieval India. Why he will keep Kabir and Ravidas as his disciple? Ambedkar's guru, Ambawatkar? Chandragupta's guru, Chanakya? Don't these things enter into the mind of the people of this country? जागो भारतीयों जागो, जागो भारतीयों जागो. See, colonist view and their contribution.